Hello and welcome to the Fiscal News Network, your go-to source for the latest fiscalization updates. I'm Anđela Bojić and I'll be your host for this Q3 2025 edition. Get ready for the most important news, trends and developments from the world of fiscalization. We are starting this Fiscal News Network with the latest updates from France. France has officially postponed the NF 525 certification deadline, a change that impacts all POS software providers operating in the country. The new deadline is September 1st, 2026, now aligned with the start of France's e-Invoicing and e-Reporting reform. This means there is now one unified date for all companies to meet fiscal requirements. Until now, many businesses could self-declare that their software met the rules, but starting from 2026, only certificates issued by authorized organizations such as InfoCert or LNE will be valid. In practice, every POS solution will need to go through a detailed audit to confirm that data is secure, transactions are traceable, and records are properly stored according to the law. Now we move to Croatia, where the Fiscalization 2.0 reform has introduced several important changes for taxpayers and software providers, including updates to how receipts are reported and how systems must operate to stay compliant. To tell us more about these new rules and what's coming next, we'll hear from legal consultant Vukašin Santo.
Fiscalization 2.0 in Croatia is a new initiative which reshaped all the fiscal landscape in Croatia. Those changes did not only affect taxpayers but also software providers and all other supporting systems. One of them is our middleware, which updated complying to all the changes regarding the Fiscalization 2.0. So from 1st September 2025 we have two major changes which our middleware successfully updated. And those are regarding abolishment of fiscalization of accompanying documents, and another one is abolishment of the check as a regular payment method. From January 1st, 2026, we will have another important changes, which our middleware will be up to date till then, and they will be regarding the new specific possibility, which is for legal person to buy in a retail, and the end product of that would be fiscal receipt. When we talk about that, we should understand that every POS should be able to print a normal fiscal receipt with addition of OIB if the legal person purchases something using cash or card. That would be the most important thing in Croatia for now.
Besides that, there is another important update coming from Croatia. As part of the Fiscalization 2.0 reform, the Croatian tax administration has introduced a new digital platform called Fiscalizacija, designed to make tax reporting simpler and more transparent. Through this platform, businesses can now access their fiscal data, track invoice statuses, review pre-filled VAT returns, and even manually submit reports when needed. It also supports a new process called eReporting, which means companies must electronically submit information about invoice payments, rejections, and specific deliveries, ensuring that all financial transactions are properly recorded and visible to the tax authority. Overall, this system aims to increase fiscal transparency, reduce errors, and make communication between businesses and tax authorities more efficient. And now let's move to Greece, where another major step toward digitalization is underway. Starting in 2026, Greece will introduce mandatory electronic invoicing, beginning with large companies that earn more than 1 million euros per year. From February 2nd, 2026, these businesses will have to issue e-invoices for all B2B transactions, including those outside the European Union. A short transition period will last until the end of March 2026, allowing companies to adjust before the new system becomes full mandatory. Then, from October 1st, 2026, the same obligation will expand to all other resident taxpayers with a transition period until the end of the year 2027. E-invoicing will become the standard for nearly all companies in Greece. This reform builds on Greece's existing MyData e-reporting system, which has been in use since 2021, requiring businesses to share tax data in real time. The new model will centralize e-invoicing through the tax authority, either via certified provider or free government platform like Timologio and My Data app. The goal is clear: to reduce tax evasion, modernize businesses' operations, and create one of the most advanced digital tax systems in Europe. Next, we move to Slovakia, where significant tax and digital reforms have just been confirmed. On September 26, 2025, the Slovak government approved a new law introducing mandatory electronic invoicing and real-time reporting for VAT-registered businesses. Starting January 1, 2027, all local VAT-registered companies will be required to issue and receive e-invoices for domestic transactions. Then, from July 1, 2030, this obligation will also apply to foreign VAT-registered businesses for European Union cross-border transactions. In line with the new European Union e-Invoicing directive, all invoice data will need to be reported in real time starting in 2027. Additionally, VAT registration rules will be updated in January 2026, introducing automatic group registration to help prevent tax evasion. From 2027, all sellers will also need to offer cashless payments options, such as QR code payments, as part of the new Revenue Recording Act. These reforms show Slovakia's clear commitment to digitalizing tax processes, strengthening transparency, and aligning with the European Union's VAT in the Digital Age (VIDA) initiative. Moving on to Portugal, where the government has announced a new delay in its digital invoicing plans. The mandatory use of qualified electronic signatures (QES) for PDF invoices has been postponed by 1 year. Instead of starting on January 1, 2026, the new deadline is now January 1, 2027, as outlined in Portugal's 2026 National Budget's proposal. This means that until the end of 2026, companies in Portugal can continue to issue PDF invoices without a qualified electronic signature, and they will still be considered valid. Starting in 2027, however, all electronic invoices will need to include a qualified electronic signature issued by certified third-party providers to registered taxpayers. The postponement gives businesses extra time to adapt to the technical and administrative steps required for full QES integration. Additionally, the government postponed the annual SEFT accounting report, a digital file that companies submit to tax authorities with detailed financial data for 2026 transactions. This will now be due in 2027, aligning with the updated digitalization timeline. We also have news from Germany, where new rules on invoice language requirements have just been introduced. The German Ministry of Finance now allows certain mandatory invoice details to be written in any official European Union language, not only in German, making cross-border invoicing much simpler. We'll hear more about this from Ivana Picajkic, legal consultant at Fiscal Solutions.
Currently, Germany is implementing mandatory B2B electronic invoicing, and in light of this, the Finance Ministry has issued new guidance on the language permitted in electronic invoices as well as in VAT invoices. Under the updated rules, invoices may now be issued in any of the European Union's 24 official languages, not just in German. To facilitate this change, the Ministry has amended the VAT application decree and provided a multilingual table of approved invoice terms and expanded examples for special VAT margin schemes. However, businesses should note that while invoices can be issued in other EU languages, tax authorities may still request a German translation during audits, and companies must be ready to provide one.
Now we are heading to Sweden, where the tax agency has announced new rules on how cash registers must be managed and reported. The changes, which take effect on October 1, 2025, update the country's existing framework for controlling and supervising retail transactions. Under the new rules, each cash register or system used in a business must now be registered individually with the tax agency. This means that every device used to record sales, along with its control system, has to be officially listed as a separate unit. There is one exemption: if the company already uses several cash registers connected to the same system, they don't have to register each one again. Another key update is the requirement for businesses to report any technical issues or malfunctions with their cash registers immediately and keep clear records of them. These updates threaten transparency and control in Sweden's retail sector, helping ensure that all transactions are properly documented and that tax reporting remains accurate and reliable. Next, we move to Turkey, where the Revenue Administration has released an update to the country's e-invoice system, known as e-Fatura. The new version, effective from October 1st, 2025, introduces both technical updates and a new exception code used for specific tax-exempt transactions. A new code, 344, has been added to help businesses properly label and report certain exempt invoices within the e-Fatura system. In addition, the official UBLTR guide, which defines the technical structure of electronic invoices, has been updated to include this new code, ensuring all systems stay compliant with current legal and technical standards. The update applies to both test and live environments, meaning software providers and system integrations should check compatibility before the deadline to avoid any invoice rejection once the change takes effect. In short, this update is another step toward keeping Turkey's e-invoicing system aligned with the latest digital and fiscal requirements. Now we move on to what's new in Fiscal Solutions. After previously covering France's postponed NF 525 certification deadline, the company has now taken an active step to support businesses preparing for these changes. Fiscal Solutions has officially launched a new Udemy course titled Certification in France. The course provides a structured and practical overview of the NF 525 certification process, explaining key legal obligations, required documentation, and technical standards, such as data integrity, traceability, and security. By introducing this course, Fiscal Solutions become one of the first companies in the fiscalization industry to use Udemy as an open learning platform for professional education. This initiative aims to make fiscal knowledge more accessible and help retailers and POS software providers navigate the French certification process with greater confidence and clarity. We are proud to share a piece of news from our own team. Fiscal Solutions CEO Darko Pavić has published the first ever book on fiscalization, titled The Fiscalization Compliance Maturity Model. The book provides a structured and practical framework for understanding and improving fiscal compliance applicable to all markets, while also offering an overview of legal requirements in 25 countries. It serves as a valuable guide for retailers, software providers, and fiscal experts navigating the complex global landscape of fiscalization. The book is available on Amazon in both print and digital form. Up next, we'll hear from Darko Pavić, who will explain what inspired him to write this book and how it can help companies navigate the complex world of fiscalization with more clarity and confidence.
Compliance isn't optional. Just imagine which huge risks is your business facing if you are not compliant. On the global scale, compliance is a very complex issue, and to solve it needs efforts, time, and costs, of course. And if you are present in many countries, that numbers multiply heavily. My book is helping retailer and POS software vendors to reduce those costs, to reduce and limit the risks, of course, and to implement compliance even as a competitive advantage.
To close this Q3, we are proud to highlight one of the key moments of the quarter, Fiscal Solutions Community Day 2025. The event gathered our clients, partners, and team members for a day full of presentations, discussions, and networking, creating space for new ideas and meaningful connections. It once again showed how valuable collaboration and knowledge sharing are for the growth of our community and the entire fiscalization industry. And for those who couldn't attend, pre-registration for next year's Community Day is already open. To conclude this edition, a reminder for all viewers who wish to stay continuously informed about fiscal developments. The Fiscal News app provides verified and up-to-date information on fiscalization across more than 25 countries, ensuring reliable insights into every regulatory change. The application is available for both iOS and Android devices, offering convenient access to all fiscal news in one place. That's all for this quarter's Fiscal News Network. Thank you for watching and for staying informed with us. We'll continue to follow the latest development, industry trends, and regulatory changes shaping the fiscal world, and bring them to you in our next edition. Until then, stay informed and stay compliant.